Author and businesswoman Jillian Michaels is here. So, Jillian, going into this debate, did you have a preconceived idea of Vance, and did that change?
I certainly did. I thought he was arrogant, smug, sexist. I was really disappointed with him as the VP pick. And it did, in fact, change. I thought he did an excellent job of humanizing himself. I loved that each and every time they asked him a question, he actually answered the question, that he was unbelievably competent at bridging to the points that he wanted to make, and he was civil. And I have to give that to both of them. They were both civil, and that was really a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I'm not bad-mouthing Walls. He did okay. He was kind of relatable. Whatever. He didn't have a great night. Let's just put it that way. But they were agreeing. They were nice to each other. They were pretty respectful towards the moderators. Am I wrong about watching TV? I mean, I thought I was going to see like Hannity and Combs from back in the day, where they were just like throwing haymakers. Maybe that's not what voters want.
No, it feels honestly like a bad divorce. Like your parents are out of control, they're fighting, and it's not good for the kids. They should be attacking each other's ideas, not each other as people. That's classy, that's control, and I'm glad that they both did that. To be honest, though, I probably would have gone a little harder at some of the other opponents' ideas. And I would have gone after some of the radical positions on gender-affirming care that we've seen Walz legislate. I would have gone after the fact that his city burned for 3 days after during the George Floyd riots. And I think Walz could have also been aggressive on some of the issues that I still take umbrage with on the far right. But I much prefer that they were civil and they were composed.
You know, I felt the exact same way. I'm watching this thing with my producer, Johnny, upstairs, and I'm like, oh, you know, Vance should have said this. Oh, you should have got him in here. And then, you know, halfway in, I'm like, this guy's made zero mistakes. He looks completely at ease and composed and eloquent. That's what you want. You want to do no harm, like a doctor. Do no harm.
I agree. I also loved when he went after the moderators and he was saying, you agreed we weren't going to be fact-checking. You're only fact-checking me and you're wrong. And I just thought that was so strong and so powerful, and he wasn't whining and he wasn't complaining, but he didn't allow them to get away with it. And we need that kind of strength and composure.
Now, as a woman, I thought this was going to be a debate that was focused on men because Harris has a man problem. The Trump team wants to run up the score with men. But I keep hearing from women how pleased they were with J.D. Vance's presentation and basically the entire debate about how nice everything was. Do you feel the same way?
I do. I think J.D. Vance had a woman problem, and he's made some really stupid comments across the board. And while many will say, who cares? It's just a comment. There are much bigger problems. It indicates an attitude towards women that's unlikable and unappreciated. And the fact that he addressed it and he apologized and said the Republican Party was going to do better on some issues deeply concerning women, I thought was humbling and mature.
I mean, you women always want us to apologize. Maybe we should start. Maybe it's a good thing. It works. Jillian, thanks so much for the insight. I agree with 99% of what you said. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.